Good afternoon, welcome to Game 3 of the World Ultimate Club Championship Qualifier in Dallas. Third and final game today. We've got Sublime out of Perth, playing Paradigm out of Melbourne. Conditions are shizen. It's rain. It's cold. It's cold. I think Kylo just said it was cold. He made an observation about his anatomy that suggested it was cold. Goodbye, Albus. Albus has departed. He's had enough. He's gone, right, Melbourne, you suck. I'm going back to Perth. The rain, still not what everyone said it would be. It's an annoying drizzle. It's cooled right down. The wind kicking up every now and again. Joined by Tim Wise, fresh from his jaunt back around Europe. Just a little impromptu trip to Europe following your hip injury, or your kidney injury.
Yeah. Good to be back.
How was it?
Good trip. Bit cold. Romania, it's quite cold there at the moment. Top of 4 degrees, I think.
So this is warm by your standards.
It's wet. It's very wet, but yeah, definitely warmer. Still got a couple jackets on. I'm not playing today, to be honest. Happy to watch.
Yeah, me too. We're about to watch Kylo from Sublime eat a magnesium tablet raw.
It's got the goosebumps happening. It's pretty cold.
Oh, it's disgusting. All right. So Paradigm to the right of screen, Sublime to the left. Sublime in white. Looks like Sublime are going to be starting with defense. We're going 4-3. Kyle, that's pretty disgusting. I won't lie. Oh, you won't cramp, Kyle. You won't. Yeah. All right. There should be a lot of good bant in this game. Maybe not good Frisbee, but definitely good bant. Pool goes up. Hoppy takes a good grab. That was coming in with heat. And it's matched defense from Sublime as the first look. Evans, Delahaye makes a good cut, but it's poorly timed. He can't get free deep. He now wants to look something under half, putting him under. Rachel Misach with it. Hoppy gets up line, not on it. And K-Foss, and so she goes over the top to Hop, which is good. That was a great throw. And then Evans and Delahaye lining up. Delahaye grabs it. Delahaye goal. First goal to Paradigm. Thought their way through it. A poach sat out in the lane, but Hoppy kept going. So, yeah, well, yeah, it was a bit upwind.
In the last game, it was a bit of an upwind downwind game that Paradigm had with. Who were they playing? Canberra. F Troop, and they won by a few, but it was very much downwind, upwind, and there are a few really long points in there. So we'll see how we go. It feels like the wind has probably backed off a bit at the moment.
Yeah, there is a slight left to right, so from the left side of your screen through the right, which means that one would have been an upwinder if you had to call it anything. Couple of kebabs being consumed on the sideline. Pete Illy, obviously not training that summer body. How are you, Pete? Don't think he's trained the summer body since the Dingoes campaign. All right. First defensive point from Paradigm. Cowan pulls. Average at best. But Paradigm do a very good job at getting down there early. And Ryan just keeps it in his grips. Goes back to the Magician. And Kyle jacks one.
Good throw, very flat.
Paradigm look to apply the defense. They get it on there now. Moskovich stops the up the line from Kylo. Forces the throw backwards. Kyle just holds one. Flying away from him, very good in the wet. Dump goes up the line. honoured, but it's then dropped. And Paradigm are going to have a shot at the first break.
It's not easy to catch everything. It's a very wet disc.
Can confirm the disc is wet.
You're not paying full
Still
attention,
raining.
You are going to drop it.
Still raining. Declan looking like he's about to knock over a 7-11. Nat Beanie. And Paradigm working it through the zone look now. 1-3-2-1. But Paradigm managing to have some relative flow. They're not really attacking any of the poppers. Both Roman and Georgia popped in, and no one in the fence really wanted anything to do with it. So Rodney manages to hold one. They're thinking their way through it. More of a containing zone than a pressure zone. They're sitting dumps out. And here comes the shot from Roman to Joel, who grabs it. Oh, Moskovich just turns it, but yeah, he's going to call a foul. I think it was probably just after he did that, then he threw it.
He's retracted it.
Yep, retracted it.
Probably the right call.
Yeah. A little bit of contact from Kyle on the grab, but then Joel threw it, but didn't affect. So, Sublime looking to convert their O. Swung wide. Nice move down the far sideline. Doing it again. And there's a cut gone deep. He'll have to bid, he'll have to go. He chooses not to. Have a taste. Needed to have a taste. So Timothy, what's your road to recovery look like? When are you going to be out pounding the pavement?
I should be playing on the weekend. We've got training tomorrow. The heads of state WUCC team are training, and I'll probably give that a go.
Oh, very good. He's back. Brian?
They told me to take a month off with the kidney, and it's been a month. So we're happy to get back into it.
Wouldn't say you took it off. It sounds like you've been in the gym every other day. But anyway, Georgia Camden Dunn swinging it back and forth with Roman and Declan. Again, they're able to move with relative ease. They're finding gaps in the zone, so the zone not really containing nor applying pressure.
I think man would probably be a better look from here. It doesn't look like they're going to jack it downwind. I'd probably move to man.
We have seen some matched offense as well as some zone so far. Bryman doing well. Falls keeping it alive after a bit of a floater. And now they look to lock down a little bit. Forces Cam Dunn and Roman to move backwards, but then the brief swing out to Deckers.
He's got a gap in the middle. He didn't take it. He's looking still backward.
Rodney doing well, getting busy now, getting in that popping area. He's picking out the space. He can see the space there. Bruce is on to him now. He wants to throw into space.
Go over the top to Joel again if he puts a hammer in or a little scuba. There we go. J-Rod's done a great bid.
Yeah. And he's clipped Joel. And Joel wants nothing to do with it. Alright, so we're going to take an injury sub.
Probably a foul.
And Bo, you got two players running out. Ash Evans has just put Delahaye in his spot. Don't worry, son. I'm coming on, actually. Yeah, and uncontested foul from Brucey.
You've got a beanie. Jesse, I'm coming on. I'm cold, mate.
Ash with the disc. The zone drops back, moves around Ash. Ash looks like he calls a double team. Seems like Ash forgot where he was for a second. He didn't really want to do anything or throw anything.
Throw by Roman. He's improved a lot with that backhand around.
Sublime defense starting to have a bit more of an impact now. Rodney pulls two. Opens up a spot in the cup. Declan Frey give go. Drags two again. Enables the back around. Roman gives up a little ground to Georgia Camden Dunn. Back to Roman. So the zone actually... Oh! Brucey had a crack in from the short deep spot. And then had a crack again when he got back to the short deep spot. But Ash, this time, is a lot bigger than Joey, so didn't really budge. Jared Cowan, easy progression to Roman, who then throws something a little speculative, but it's Declan in the corner. Gives it a little spiky spike. And that's 2-0. Whoa, and the wind just kicked up a little bit. Brucey with a couple of bids that point. It was tasty. He's hunting one. It's starting to get a little gusty. Camden Dunn handling really solidly at that point. Played that axis position. Just kept swinging the disc. Didn't sit on it. Probably didn't have a stall count past 4. Did well.
What are they going to play, man or Z?
Well, we don't say man anymore, Tim.
Person.
It's
Person.
matched one-on-one defense.
Very good.
It's the way that we roll these days.
That's a good point, Andrew. It's a good point. They're looking, I think, to change it in the AFL too. They're looking no longer have a ruckman, but a ruck person, I believe.
Really? There you go. There you go. So what do you think it's going to be? Is it going to be one-on-one or zone?
I hope they play person, one-on-one, yeah.
Happy with the pull? It's okay.
No, it's looking like a zone.
There's a zone, front of the mark. Jackson with the disc. So Jackson and Jayhar, the Mosquito Army. And Ha throws a lovely sidearm over the top. That's nice. And they move it just like that. They're at halfway. Ha and Jackson. Ha could look at that same sidearm again if he wants it. It's a little bit further away this time. Ha, Jacko now. Now they collapse in. So this is where Paradigm Zone looks to be a little bit more pressuring. As Deckers calls a big travel on Jayhar. I don't know if it was there. I reckon his pivot was down. Jayhar is going to tap it in. Jacko looks up Scuba, doesn't want it. And so this cup's collapsed right in. Louise is in there on that point. The crash comes in, being dealt with really well. The count must be high, got to an 8. And now they're in on the sideline. Sublime in on the sideline. Jacko does really well, moves it back, but they're still not off that sideline. Now they get it out. Well done, Jacko. So that's where they want it. Jayhar on the far side. Spot in the middle's opened up. Oh, Jacko had to go behind himself, got it. And throws the easy goal. Well done, Sublime, thought their way through it.
So just back to what you were talking about before, Andrew, it's employing gender-neutral language across the sporting sector, which is a really good thing, and I think it's something we want to promote, so it's good to remind me.
You're very welcome, Tim. You know what I mean? I love picking you up on your terminology, on your grammar. Two ones to score. Paradigm jumped out. Sublime now on the board. Michael Ridley looking absolutely miserable. Rightly so. Oh.
How's your band going, Andy?
Apparently got a gig tonight. I know a gig last night. Apparently got a gig every night.
Oh, good.
I don't have a gig tonight, no. No, it's going quite well, Tim. Thank you.
All right. Will we see a personal zone look? What do we think? It's been pretty cruisy for the zone offense so far.
I reckon Paradigm probably had more luck playing their zone. They at least got to pressure it on that sideline, and it took Jackson with a big round break backhand to get through it. but it didn't seem to be a whole bunch of pressure on Paradigm when they were playing O.
It's not quite windy enough, really, to make it really work well, I don't think.
Looks 1-on-1, I think, and it is. And looks to be a pretty nasty looking 5-2, 2-5 horo. I hope it's a 2-5 horo, otherwise it's just a mess. Roman takes an option that wasn't there through to a 2-on-1, and Jazzjet was at the end of the line. I was going to find it very hard to complete that. We've got Kylo, the magician, walking to the disc.
Good throw. Good throw, and up the line again. Oh, I think there might have been a hand in that. A pretty good D if there was by O'Reilly. Paradigm going to bring it in. Looking to the middle, I would say to J-Rod, straight away. It's gone over his head. Oh, it's a turnover. Kyle with in the middle of the field. Little flick. Back to Kyle. Bigger flick. It's a bit lopsided. Oh, it's a great grab. I think she'll pull it down. And Jazz has run into her after. All right. Uncontested. She'll bring it in on 0 on the end zone line. Bit of an upwinder, an important point if they can get it. It's a must win for both teams here. And in the end, a pretty easy backhand. We've got 2-all. We're back on serve. So there you have it. A bit of person defense worked. Let's see if they'll employ it again. You would think they would now. Chuck is coaching Paradigm today. He's filling in. He's quite a good coach. He's coached Ellipsis before. It's good to have him out there. He'll be playing this year's first season back after the ACL. Sublime looking very cold on the line. A few hugging bodies out there. All right. Important point. Big backhand. Outside in. And Joe's decided not to try and grab it. It's rolled out the back. We might be having technical difficulties with our camera. Oh, okay. So, is there any mic? No. Cool. I won't talk then. Pardon?
Describe it like a radio announcer.
Oh, is it still on the mic? Yes, oh, they can still hear? Okay. All right. Well, we've got no audio. I mean, we've got no visual, but we do have audio. So I can talk you through what we've got. We've got a zone on from Sublime. We've got Ash Evans bringing it in 10 metres in front of the end zone on the sideline. A little up the wind to J-Rod. Bit of a fake, and he's gone through the middle, and oh, almost a catch. And I think we've got a strip call from Kate here. It looked like she may have had it, but I couldn't really tell. And they've sent it back. All right, so Ash Evans is telling Sublime the cup to just come back a little bit to where they were, and Kate Foster has a pretty open look to Georgie straight away if she wants it. Jessie's coming in further deep, And she's gone to Georgie. Oh, it's a high throw. She's following it, and she's got it. Good work. Backhand to the middle to J-Rod. Backhand to Evans. The cup has come around him. He's on the close sideline. He's looking for the dump. Couldn't get it off. Quick one to J-Rod through the cup. Back to Hoppy on the sideline. Back to J-Rod in the middle of the cup. Can't go through. He's looking around. Back to Hoppy on the sideline. Little 1 metre passes here. Back to Evans. Back to J-Rod. They're working it up. Back to Hoppy on the sideline. They've moved it 50 metres here, all the way up in front of the end zone now with these little 1 metre passes. Fakes to put in. Bit of a bid. And they've got it. Score. So they've worked it the whole way up the sideline with 1 metre passes quite well. Jared, Hoppy, and Ash Evans there. Well done. Another upwinder. So, there you go. The zone didn't work. They should have gone to person. I think because it's probably a little bit windy out there, it gives a bit of a deceptive feel that zone would be really effective, and it's quite wet, but it's not really windy enough or wet enough to really put that pressure on the other team at the moment. It probably was earlier in the day, and I think that's why people think zone is the go-to, but my recommendation would be to go to person, man and woman. We're good? Do we have feed? No, just audio? Okay, sorry about the video here. We've had a bit of a fall with our camera, but we're getting it back up. How do you see it, Brendo?
Yeah, it's a bit of a challenging game out there in these conditions. It's definitely going to come down to who can be cleaner on offense, I think. In these conditions, slippery disc, you mentioned that, and a bit of wind kicking up as well. Probably going to see some turns, and the team that can obviously maintain possession with the disc, the best will probably come out on top, I think. Paradigm look like they're playing against that zone defense quite well, moving the disc and really calm in those situations, getting it off the sideline. Sublime just need to really ramp up that pressure on their defense and get a few more turns. There's a great pull there from Joe Hope. Kylo's touched it. It's rolling out the back. Disc is going to be from the back of the end zone. This is what you'd want as a defensive line. A lot of pressure. Where's he going to move it? He's directing traffic with the hand. He's still looking. It's gone. That's jacked. Easy D for Paradigm. Quick dish to Hope. It's about 10 metres outside of their end zone. Goes for the swing around. It's gone into the ground. Just a tough throw against the wind. Held up a little bit. Sublime get it back. Kylo picks it up. It's gone again. He's jacked it. He's got Jessup there. Should get that. It just falls short. Hope. Huge bid there just to ensure that the disc went to ground. And now he's looking downfield. Hits a nice under to Moskovich.
We're back.
And we're back.
We've got video.
We've got video. There's a little bit of a call, injury call. Tan coming off. Maybe
Jazz Jit wants to get him on, but Evans sneaks on himself. Probably not the right call. I'd put Jazz on.
I haven't paid my subs, so.
He hasn't paid his subs apparently.
Looks like a little bit of cramp there from Jimmy Tan. Getting a good calf stretch in there. We're figuring out where they all are. Moskovich will take the disc, probably on a low count. Coming in on 0, disc tapped in. Evans coming up the line. It's cuts held off. Moskovich gets the dumps across. Hope jacks it. O on Evans. Kyle O gets up huge in front of Ash Evans. Big D, where's he going to send it this time? Swings it, center of the field with Jessup. Further up the field, Sublime starting to look for some unders.
Right, person D now from Paradigm, and they get the turn straight away.
Ash Evans using his length, gets a hand in there. nice line as well.
We've got Andrew Moroney back in the commentary box.
You miss me?
No.
No, didn't miss me. Paradigm. Vertical set. Playing one out, one ISO. It's a pick called. 3-2. Still a close game. And there was an injury. Yeah. Okay, the ISO clears out. Hop looks at the inside break. Lovely throw. That's really nice. Good throw from Hoppy. 4-2. Handy goal. Sublime walking back as a unit. I reckon they'd say that that's, you know, team morale, but I think in actuality it was just bloody freezing and trying to get some much needed body warmth. Truly miserable in Melbourne today. Not going to lie.
Typical Melbourne winter day.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. Yeah, start of December. 13, no, less, probably 10 degrees. Just
I'll pull it up.
crapola. Can you put my phone on charge? Okay. We're out of video, are we?
Yeah, we're just we're radio hosting at the moment.
Oh, excellent radio. All right, the pull's gone up. It's just going to reach the brick mark, and it's caught by Sublime. Sublime are running a horo, 3-4 horo, and the count's at about 6. Pie goes up, and it bobbles. It's going to be a turn now, so Paradigm have it at halfway. We're halfway on the field. Jared Cowan with the disc. He's got Declan as his dump, and for some reason... Roman is dump and Declan just on the wrong side of the Frisbee. So they've moved it up. Louise Gertzel. It is in fact Louise Gertzel. Rodney goes up the line and is honoured, and it bobbles out of his hands. The disc is at about 2/3 of the way for Sublime to score. There's been a backhand jack, and it's floated over the head. A little bit of circle of death. So Paradigm... Sorry? I thought that was a really good shot, Rainbow. What did you think it was?
I love a bit of spice.
Spice?
I think I've been banned from this.
Why? Mate, if I haven't been banned, you haven't been banned. Not letting anyone on. So, disc hasn't been tapped back in yet. Paradigm will be picking it up from their end zone line, the defending end zone. And they're running a vertical stack and found a really good way to get a pick. So... yeah. So, vertical set. Jared Cowan with the disc. He's got one dump out. And he looks to hit that dump and then instead looks to break it to the front of the stack but to put it down the throat of the Sublime player. The Sublime player going to pick up and they're going to score. That's Jackson scoring the goal or throwing the goal. Jared Cowan very lucky the video's out. Because that was no good. No good. Threw it right to the front of the stack. Ordinary. Oh, did they burn a timeout? They did. Oh, look, that may give us a moment to try and recalibrate ourselves. It's done? Oh, we're back up, are we? Very good.
We're back.
No, we're not.
No, we're not.
Yeah. Suppose we could just look at the screen and find out, but in any case, that sounds very hard. So a timeout called, and Sublime are doing their best rugby scrum kind of impersonation. They are freezing.
4-3, I think.
Yeah, 4-3 the score. Paradigm leading. So let's quickly, Brendo, off the top of your head, let's go through the other results. So we've had Frisbee undefeated, correct? They're 2-0.
Vanguard.
They're playing Vanguard. Vanguard were 2-0,
Yes.
correct? So that's kind of top of the table stuff. Piewagon are 1-1.
1-1.
They lost to Frisbee and beat Paradigm. Paradigm are 1-1.
Yes.
They beat F Troop and lost to Piewagon. Sublime have been belted, right? There's Sublime a 0-2 and F Troop a 0-2.
Yes. Correct.
So those are the standings as it goes, top to bottom. It'll probably be Funsky, Vanguard, Piewagon, Paradigm, and then F Troop and Sublime, both without a win. Sorry, Jacko. All right, wind's starting to kick up now in a proper way, more consistently. Everyone doing the cold jogs on the sideline. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Everyone, bloody, we're doing it. Who's going to lay out? That's what we want to know. The ground really starting to soften up. The grounds have actually done really well. I was saying, we were talking to Diesel, when if this was Sydney, the grounds would have been closed for 3 months.
Yeah. Wouldn't have seen the light of day on one of these fields up in Sydney.
And we're back, guys, so give you your patience.
In Melbourne, the bomb tells you there's going to be a massive storm. Play anyway.
Yep. Okay, roller stopped.
Advantageous tap.
Yeah. Beck Gannon. All right, Rachel with the disc. Pop in. What's happened here? Right. Okay. They all moved it back. Ash Evans pops in, not on it. Dumps back to Hope. Now back to Rachel Misach. Georgie Camden Dunn comes in, but just missed it out of the hand. Quick turn. Real opportunity for Sublime to even it up. Magic Man, nice low release backhand. He goes to get up in front of the play, moves into the dump position, but the girls do it for themselves. 2 up the line cuts. Very nice quick break from Sublime. That brings it to 4 apiece. 4 all. Oh. Okay, so we didn't mention it's cold. Are we back again, are we? Good. Lovely. Is the canteen open? Do they do the Cokes? I'll just go buy a Coke. I'll give them a couple bucks. Four apiece. So probably more, well, definitely for Sublime, but probably more so for Paradigm. This is shaping up as a pretty important game in the context of this tournament and their future at World Clubs.
Definitely. They'll really be vying for that 3rd place spot or higher. Australia's been given 2 bids and with the possibility of a wild card at that 3rd spot. So they really need this one to stay alive. So they'll be gunning pretty hard for this game, putting everything on the line, I reckon.
Brucey, you don't look well.
It's a bit cold.
Be very mindful about the words you use when I stick this microphone in your face, please. Because I saw what you wanted to say.
37 degrees in Perth today. Offshores all day, great surfing.
You guys are on the tear here.
But actually, I'm pretty sure someone brought a surfboard with them because there's a bit of a puddle on this field that we can use.
Very good. Inside break, didn't want it. He's got to go around, surely he does. Is that Hugh Osborne? Yeah. How filthy were you you were probably one of the best barramundis going around. How filthy were you that Hugh Osborne didn't even get a call back to the second camp? That was a joke.
Yeah, he didn't get a look in. I think he was pretty filthy about it.
Rightly so. He crushed it that camp.
Fantastic player, very versatile, can catch it, throw it, do all the things you need to do.
Yeah. Thanks, Brucey. That's very nice of you. So Paradigm got let off. There was a big opportunity Sublime didn't take. And they can now work it up. They're not having much trouble moving it in the pop, in around the fence. Sublime's defenders just disc watching. They're not really head checking, looking around at who's popping in. There's no even real count. I mean, that's Rodney's standing in there. It's not like he ran in and popped, and it wasn't like they were moving it to a sideline. So I don't know. Well, I don't know what the strategy is, but they've got to change something. So Ash Evans, wind kicking up now. He did, yeah. Ash not too concerned about the prospect of a travel rule, and Hoppy spent it before he had it. Went for you could tell he went for a give go, but it slipped out of his hand. That one we do have on film, correct? Oh, we'll make sure that one's all right. Ha gets it up the line and sticks one deep. This would be unreal if she catches it. Oh, it was dropped. Shani just couldn't hold on to it. I think she got a hand to it, right? Yeah. That would have been unreal. Unreal. Yeah. So shout out to Brett Middleton, kicking it in Port Fairy. I think he's in these days. We'll endeavour to get a Frisbee Vanguard score to you, Brett. Port Pirie, is it? What did I say? Port Fairy. Yeah, Port Pirie. He's living far away. Yeah. Shout out to he and Sarah and his little HOS 2028 recruit. Paradigm with another shot. This time they're going to have to work it up. Length of the field. Hoppy, big rainmaker. Ha went early. Ha. I don't know if it was the time difference between Perth and Melbourne that confused Ha, but that's about the difference. He went early. he was jumping at sort of 7 o'clock Perth time, and 3 hours later the disc was there. Oh, Jezza. Can't call that jet lag. I know he's a short lad and has to go early, but that was ambitious. There's a shot going. No. Counter be getting high. Looks the inside break. That's quite nice. Yeah, awkward, but nice. Hugh Osborne, high side. Throws a big floppy backhand, and that read. Bunch of Frisbee illiterates at the moment. Inability to read. Who can we get a Vanguard score off, you reckon? Oh, did he? Yeah, good. No, I think we got Tim Wise on the case, sweet as, so we'll get you an update when we can. As always, get involved in the conversation. Tweet, Facebook, YouTube. Just text me. Oh, Leroy did catch it and gave herself a pump. Oh. Leroy, pretty happy with her own work. Just got double jukes up, and unfortunately, the next throw wasn't completed. Oh, it is getting tough now. Getting tough. The reads are tough. The grabs are tough, and there's a trouble because it wasn't all going hard enough. All right, restarted play. Hoppy. Is he going to throw another rainmaker? Nothing by way of a popper at the moment. And a marking infraction violation. What? Brendan just thinking it's all very, very funny. Maybe he's snapped. Maybe just his waterlogged brain has just cooked it. He's gone, nah. Yeah. A little bit of shake and bake from Rodney, throwing some fakes. The sugar man selling candy and gets it high side. Great bid. Really nice throw. It went over Jared's head. Was going towards Jazz, but Sublime get the way in between. Set up a vert stack, one dump out. They look break. Ha looks dump. Throws the high release flick. Ambitious. So having a point of high, well, I wouldn't say, I don't know if this call them highlights, but interesting lights of his own. This 1 point. Memorable moments, yeah. Oh, Hugh Osborne really causing trouble in that cup now. Doesn't let it go off. Whoa, whoa. Hugh marking 3 at once. And now there's a travel. Yeah, that's there. Stop walking. Ash Evans finally called out on his ridiculous travelling. He's not happy about it. What do you... Yeah. Very much salt. Oh. Sublime's starting to get chirpy on the side. And this is exactly the Sublime you don't want if you're playing them. You've given them some hope of winning, and they just get up and about. Very chirpy. Oh, again with this inside flick. It's a hard throw. He's just going to keep throwing them. So this is probably about the probably 6th or 7th turn. At least, yeah. Hoppy holds it. Holds it. Holds it. Holds. Oh, what's the count? Finally. Likes to move it to Anna, I think that is. She looks to go upstairs. Then the pushy. Yeah. And Hugh's getting hungrier as we go. Yeah, Hugh and Ash, they're going to have a little battle now, I reckon. In amongst that cup. And Hop shoots. This time, a better time jump. Couldn't have been much worse. Hugh catches a difficult trailing disc, moves it to Ha. There's stacks all over the place, and rightly so. Ha looks at it and goes, nah, that's garbage. And Cole burns a timeout to try and bring a bit more structure. So Sublime's, as I said, starting to get chirpy. Exactly what you don't want to deal with. It's just a pain. They are as much an energy team as any other team I've seen. They are all about the vibe, the flow. If they're not feeling it, they suck. But, geez, when they're on their game, they get up and about. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Frisbee are up against Adelaide. They've taken half 8-4.
They are sweet as 8-4. Brought to you by your main man, Wisey. So, what's Brady said? No, he's on Andy. Port Pirie. Brett Middleton. Yeah, Port Pirie. 2.5 hours from Adelaide. He's a little bit busy. Rex is just belting the bejesus out of the camera. And would be playing with Vanguard right now, but Sarah Pillar is due with their second baby.
Congratulations.
Really happy for them. Making a family. It's a very good thing to do. All right, 4-all. The rain has actually picked up a bit, as has the wind. Time to play a bit more zone. Yeah. Yeah, quite windy now. However much they're paying you, Brendo, to be here all weekend, they're not paying you enough, mate. Get them to double it. J-Rod, your player fee has just gone up. There we go. We'll put the player fee up mid-tournament. The AFDA haven't done that before, but it could be done. We've got some really good people on the AFDA board, Ultimate Australia, doing a lot of hard work. All right, a bit of a turnover. Here we go. Joe Hoppy bringing it in on the sideline. J-Rod popping through the cup. He'll get it. Looking around, flick, up in the air, and it's just gone a bit too high. That flick, you've really got to throw low. especially when you're going to the far side of the field. The wind has been picking it up. Sublime bounce it to the middle. They're looking to shoot to the end zone. It's up, and oh! First catch didn't come off. Second one did. Cleaning up. There we go. The downwinder. So there you go. Sublime have actually taken the break now, I believe.
Yep.
And they're up. It's a good game. They've it's gone from 4-2 to 4-5. So it's a 3-point turnaround. There you go. I'm an accountant. I can count. Well, not always.
You can count on me.
Just haven't finished the heads of state financials yet. I know they're chasing me up about them.
Right, but there's the big behind it.
All right, here we go. Chuckett's walking to the line. He's going to rally the troops. Stay warm by running a lot, probably, would be his key message. Run hard.
Got a lot of people who have been on the sideline for a while now. I'm sure there's some cold bodies out there, and you see them jogging around on the spot, thinking of warmer weather.
It's definitely not the tournament to bring a big roster. You do not want to be standing on the sideline cold. You want to be playing 3 out of 4 points, which is hard to do. So you're probably realistically playing 1 out of 3, 1 out of 2, and it's really cold on the sideline. And I'm wearing a jumper, jacket, a long sleeve t-shirt, a hat, tracksuit pants, everything, and
nice
I'm still cold.
It's a very nice jacket. Sublime have set up in a zone look again. Camden Dunn with the disc on the sideline, dumps to Falls. It's not a lot of movement coming from Paradigm, but a lovely around backhand break to Hope. Still in the near third of the field, goes back to Falls, closer to the sideline. Ash Evans gets into the middle of the cup, moves it. Falls again with that lovely around backhand. Hope with a flick inside break, but just a little bit tough for Camden Dunn into the wind. O to pick up the disc. Kanziri cuts, it's looked off by O. Goes up the line to Jessup. Lovely throw into the wind. Foster had a quick look at it. Dumps it back to O. Around the back. Still on the force sideline. He's looking for that flick. He puts it up into the air. Oh, I think that's going to be a tough read.
Oh, 2 hands to it, but coming out the back of the end zone, I think.
Yeah.
Couldn't hang on. And she may have been out the back.
Tough shot from Kyle there. He's really put it up into the wind and it's floated quite a long way to the left. Hope picking up the disc. Sublime still in this zone defensive position. Looks like they're still forcing forehand. Move to Falls. Still on this forehand side. Again to Ash Evans. Further onto the force side.
Keep pushing it into the middle though. They've got to push it in the middle right here. They get trapped in this, as you're saying, that near third.
There you go.
They
That's
push
it.
Up.
That's it.
Up, high side.
Paradigm still stuck on this sideline. Hope still on the sideline.
Bang!
Another travel call. He's aired one out and it's going to be a turnover anyway. Will they bring it back or will they... Well...
No, you retract your judgment. Yep. Unless it's called a foul. Is it a foul?
Because he's past it.
So he's travelled, he's passed it, then he's hucked it. Still a turnover. Yeah.
He's going to come back. Ash Evans been called for a travel.
You don't get
He's
it
asking
back.
for the disc back.
Why would you get it back?
He's still asking for it back.
Right, it was a throw before.
Yeah. So the discussion is that Ash Evans was called for a travel. He's thrown the disc to Hope. The travel was called. Hope's thrown the disc and it's been a turnover. But because Ash had released the disc and the travel was called on his throw, it then becomes a stoppage.
But it's clear as mud.
Yeah. If you followed that, you should probably be playing this sport. There's a lot of bodies around the disc. Hope's right on the sideline here. Ash is right in and amongst it. He's got it through. Fozzie, dish back to Evans. Back to Fozzie. Fozzie, good hold. Hits Evans. Evans steps through, takes a little bit of contact, dishes to Hope. Still popping through there.
They just a long way down.
Exactly right, Wazzy. They've worked it a long way down, but they're still stuck on this sideline. He's just got one back around to Falls. Falls goes straight back to Hope. He's back on that sideline. They just can't move it off this sideline at the moment. I don't know if they can't or they're just not wanting to look at it. Hope still stuck. They're right in the corner now. Evans looking to creep through.
Oh, well done.
Little dish to Falls. He's still outside.
They have jammed in the jam hole.
That is.
There's a lot of flabbergasted faces in this commentary booth. Shack marquee. Pure amazement and disbelief that they managed to cram that.
Well, Sublime were looking around with the same thing. They're like, oh wow. They're just kind of. There was a frisbee-sized gap, and they threw the frisbee through the frisbee-sized gap. That was it.
The disc probably travelled a grand total of 1 metre inside the field from the sideline for that entire point.
They did well. They did very well. 5-5. We're back to even. How long are games played till this weekend, Brendo?
They are 100-minute games.
So full length.
Full length. Games to 15. There was a little bit of time either side in case the weather turned nasty. But so far we have proved the bomb wrong. So well done, Melbourne.
By nasty you mean flooding, not the nasty we're currently in.
Yes. Worse than what we have now.
Lecco-like water.
We have not been leccoed yet.
Yeah. We haven't needed the helicopter on the field to dry it out, which they did have in Lecco.
And I have got that on speed dial, so
good.
We're safe.
Goodbye, the AFDA. Good use of funds, that helicopter, to dry the field. It worked for them in Lecco.
At Lecco, yeah. That was one field. How many fields were there? Probably 30, 32 fields.
Yeah.
We had one dry, partially dry, the middle of it, from where the propeller blades were.
Sublime, Jackson bringing it in on the sideline. He's wound up. He's let that flick go. And he's picked the gap between two Sublime players.
Look, he's hucking for ground, hucking for meters.
Oh! Huge, Ben! Huge!
Whoa! The best thing I've seen all day.
Give him the surname McAvoy, and he's a big boy. Sublime score!
Wow, what a bid.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's nice.
Well, they earned that one. It's getting hot now, and I don't mean the temperature.
Man's not hot.
Mine's not hot.
Plenty of time left. So 6-5 now to Sublime. Hey Jared, can you change the score? 6-5.
Jared Cowan, always onto the administrative duties at a Frisbee game. So well aware of how a game's run, especially the end of games.
So a few Paradigm players have pulled out because of injuries and niggles, which aren't helped by the weather today. They're watching the game here with us. They'll probably play tomorrow, but they're out at the moment. So I think Joel Moscovich I haven't seen for a while, and Lily is out too.
I haven't seen Georgie play a point in a while, but I don't know.
Yeah, Georgie, and even Declan hasn't been on for a while.
Both were just on that.
It's quite cold, and, you know. After two earlier games in the wet, you know, sometimes the body does get a bit stiff and cold, and it's better to pull out.
Apparently Declan was on that point.
Oh.
Yeah, just having a genuine impact on the contest, Declan, well done. Apparently he was the one that actually turned it over, so he is having an impact on the contest. Disc has gone up.
Just a negative one.
Okay, zone. 1-3-2-1. Puppy fence. Got a piece of it. And here they go, back to their favourite place, the sideline, the cramped sideline. Awesome throwback.
There. Hope he finally does. He puts a little bit of air into it, but it's all right. Evans pulls it down, drags the foot along and gains an extra couple of yards. It's back to Hope. He's now looking to break it back onto that high side, but Sublime break it down well. Evans turns, the travel was called, and he puts his foot back. Back to Mihatz. An unlucky drop on the sideline there from Paradigm. Kylo walking towards the disc.
This is your.
Jeremy Ha shivering on the sideline, just trying to stay a little bit warm. Oh, looks off an open cut. Puts it back into the middle. Good throw, good grab. Ooh. Oh, really trying to run this offense. Airs out a backhand to Kanziri, and he brings it in. Kanziri brings it in, coming off a great under-22s campaign where he got green and gold. Great to see him back out there running around.
Break, a big point. It's to go up by 2, 7, 5. What's half at, Brendo?
8.
8. So they're looking to go downwind for half now, and if they can do that, the game is very much on their terms.
Absolutely, it'll be hard for Paradigm to come back from that.
They need to lift here.
That's it. That's it. They're getting a little bit of voice, getting a little bit rowdy now. Hope trying to really lead this revival.
They were 5-2 up, and so now we're 5-7. So
Yeah.
5-point run.
Yeah, right.
Sublime's zone has really altered. They've gone from a very loose, containy sort of zone to really putting that pressure on and locking them down onto the sideline.
The wind has picked up, and it's working well for them.
Absolutely.
Good throw, mate.
Kylo just pointing out that it's not getting any warmer. I don't think it's getting any drier either. But one can hope. Yes. There's a big pull from Ha. I think that's going to be out though. He's just angled that up into the wind a little bit, and yes, correct. It lands out. Hope to pick up the disc, bring it up to the brick mark. And it looks like Sublime's probably setting up in a little bit of a junky look here.
You know what? It's not a good idea to wear on a day like today. Jeans. And what's this moron wearing? Jeans.
Jeans.
I feel like I've got an anchor that I'm dragging along into. Like,
Oh! There's a big block there from Jackson.
this is it for half.
For half. Sublime now on offense. There's not a lot of cuts going on. There's some good D being played. A lovely little high floaty dish to Shani, but there's some great D there from Paradigm, and it's another turn. It is wet out there.
Yeah, it's wet now. Can't confirm. Wet.
Hope picks up the disc. Not a lot of movement. There's a really big focus.
As long as they're going to sit it on this sideline, there is absolutely no appetite. Hope has to swing it. He's got to swing it there. Right now, they just keep cramming it down here. Sublime are onto it. They're playing essentially 2 short deeps. They're not playing a big wing, right? They can put everyone in there. Sublime has 6 players around the disc, pretty much. Ha giving Evans a little bit of what? Not what, 4? Oh. No, that was a call.
Yep.
They came knowing.
Yep.
You know how like in footy where the umpires meet on a Thursday and decide what call they're going to make? Sublime met and went, we've watched Ash Evans travel when he played for us for 4 years. We're going to nail him. And rightly so.
I don't like it.
You're going to learn today.
It's the kind of Andrew Moroney thing you'd see.
Mate, just don't travel to him. That's all you have
You
to
won't
do.
even be watching the feet. You just call travel, expecting it to have happened.
Yeah, travel.
Sublime players cutting laps on the sideline.
If you ever call Andrew Moroney for travelling,
Nah.
regardless of whether he travelled, I'm a lefty!
Lefty.
The discussion of a travel is still continuing on
He
field.
still travelled, mate. regardless of which
Can't
foot
happen,
you're
it's in
using.
the rules. Ask Ruben, mate. It's in the rules.
The disc is about to be checked back in after a rather long travel stoppage once again. Evans trying to find space. Dishes to Hope. Still on this near sideline. Hits Camden Dunn in the end zone for the goal.
So much needed score for Paradigm. They've now got a chance to bring it back to sevens, I think.
Yep.
So it's 6-7. What's the score? 7-6. Yeah, 7-6 to Sublime. And Paradigm have got a chance to bring it back to evens, which they need to do.
It's 7-6 to you, just so you know. You having fun, Georgie?
So cold.
It's cold, is it?
I can't deal.
Good grab. Georgie with that grab. She's been playing Ultimate for a while now. Probably since 2010 at a guess.
What's going on with the travels? Come here. Ashley, come here.
Good on, Mum.
You're going for a walk out there, but the trouble is you've got the Frisbee when you're walking.
Oh, look.
I think you're travelling, mate. I think it's rubbish.
I've had a lot of viewers say that it's some questionable travel calls out there, so I'm going to stick with my guns and keep
A lot of viewers. A lot of viewers.
Quite a few viewers, yeah. Like 1 out of maybe 2.
That's 50%.
We put the SMS poll
Yeah.
out. It came back about 50-40.
50-40.
10% didn't know how to use the poll.
10% margin of error. Yeah, it's entertaining. Keep doing it. Just troll them. Mate, you're getting it back after turns. It's great.
We've got the Barnaby Joyce by-election today. Just going to do a bit of a call out for the Greens party. Get down there and vote.
We're beyond politics here in sport and politics. Don't mix. Tim Wise, a Greens member, as in ran for office. Hugh bobbles it. Gets it in.
Kyle once again really trying to control this offense. Dishes back to Hugh Osborne. Center field, there's a great undercut. Just looks it off completely.
Come on, Hugh.
Wide open.
Come on, Hugh.
Oh.
Puts a floaty one to O instead. O winds up, airs it out.
Oh.
Cowan with a nice little tip on the disc. Puts it into
Almost
the ground.
Dick nuggeted it on.
Yeah, I'm not sure we could say that one. I think the word Tim was looking for was macked it on. Macked it on. Just for anyone listening, I can confirm that was what we said. So Paradigm, turn it over. Yeah. Brucey moves it nice and early. No mark. Declan trying to mark 2 people at once. As Rachel now comes to the mark. Brucey. Geez, he and Declan almost smooched, I think. Declan saw a puddle and found a way to lay out into it. Now, a pick called. Now, so see, that's the difference here, right? So they've just dumped. Oh, it should stay really with that. Should stay there. But they looked, so I don't know her name. Annie Jessup looked straight around to swing it to Brucey, who was in a good position. Brucey will probably do the same thing. That's the difference between the two teams at the moment. Sublime are doing the hard things in terms of swinging it to the high side.
Nice looking shot.
That's unreal. That's
Hugh
hard.
Osborne. Inside out flick from the middle of the field, puts it in the left-hand back corner and just nails Ryan.
Very well weighted.
Very well weighted. But as Andrew says, Sublime hitting their dumps and swinging it across the field up to that high side. Paradigm are really just kind of getting it stuck on this one side and can't move it off that sideline.
It's half time and 8-6 to Sublime.
8-6 to
They're
Sublime.
in a powerful position coming in after half.
That's it.
Sublime have legged it sharpish to the change room. We'll say goodbye to Tim Wise. Thank you for joining us for the
Thank you for
first
having
day.
me. It's
Thank you for
been a good day. I'll see everyone tomorrow. I might. It'll depend on the weather.
Yes, so rain delay on the first day of the cricket, the day-nighter in Adelaide. The Australians, no wickets down for 33 before rain stopped play. Rain has not stopped play here, much as we probably would wish it would. Warner on 21, Cameron Bancroft on 10. All right, we'll leave you with highlights from the game so far before coming back for the second half.
It's a bit shit. Nah, yeah, just everything. Combination of everything.
Alright, dude.
Yeah. I just put this music loop.
Yeah.
So it's just playing some like background music and a half. Just like when we come back in a half, just turn that down to 0.
Yeah.
Otherwise you just have shit
Totally.
audio. Yeah. Just gonna bash the pole a bit.
I didn't fill out the form, so I wasn't sure. Now I'm like, okay.
Yeah, cool. Tomorrow's probably the easier day.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Painfully right.
Well,
I'm surprised this thing's still going.
close.
Sturdy.
Just hit it a few times.
Together water off. Works.
And it's not being live streamed, it's fine. Just watching it at home. Oh my god.
Yeah, we're trying. There's no like second camera to cut to though. So
I can't remember the last time we live streamed where it wasn't shit conditions for you guys.
yeah.
We were like up and ready to film the SMA final and then like got called off. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Just still playing? Are the replays still playing, Rob?
Yeah, we got another 2 minutes 40. No, they stopped again.
Yeah. Just press play down the street.
Now they're going again.
Okay.
2 minutes 30.
Okay. So good.
Let's go, Jody Brown. Oh, that's so fast. Oh, I don't want to know what the score is. Actually, I do, but. I think you should definitely not do that, regardless of what I want.
You reckon
I'm not gonna say, like, I'm not gonna subject you to going out there just to find out the score for me.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if you do go and find out, I would like to know, but it's entirely up to you. I'm not going anywhere.
Hey, Dan! What's the score?
Dan, that's not. I think he said 0-all game to 1.
Nil all game to 1.
Fuck's sake.
It's a bit shit. Like, it's a flaw in the design.
Yeah, if you ever touch this, does it just whoops?
Yeah. Where's the
Okay.
banner? Where's the banner? So, like, it's just when you're running heaps of replays. Just like, half an hour. Do you want to just cut back to this footage? Yeah, have fun, right? Just, cut me back in if you want. And welcome back to the second half of the Sublime Paradigm game. Sublime obviously on a little bit of a high here, running out of the change rooms, ready for the second half and trying to stay warm.
Paradigm taking a little bit more of their time. Declan Frey cannot find his team, which is a little bit of a concern, considering we need them for the second half. Some pretty big plays in that first half. Sublime certainly starting off with a very conservative containy zone, and they've really started to pressure the Paradigm players now and really forcing it towards that sideline, as we've been saying. The wind's really picking up here. The rain's starting to, it's not heavy, but it's certainly coming in at a rough angle. Dare I say horizontal. Looking over onto the far field, you've got Newcastle up against F Troop from Canberra, and one of the players, Matt Daly, has actually decided, no, my jersey is too heavy and waterlogged. I'll play better topless. I'm fairly confident he would be quite cold, but no, it's certainly a lot colder in Canberra than it is in Melbourne usually. So, Paradigm have emerged. And there's a lot of noise going on from both teams. Assuming this is to try and warm up.
Well, the interesting thing is that here in the puddle, that's not going to help him. Paradigm, there's a lot of Sublime in Paradigm. Like Paradigm are a kind of up and about team. Like they are either just a force or putrid, depending on their attitude.
There's currently more interest in a puddle on the sideline than there is in a Frisbee game. However, we do have two teams in their respective end zones ready to play a game. Half an hour left to go in this game. 8-6 to Sublime. We have confirmed that Sublime are coming out on offense. Thank you, Paradigm, for checking. We're kind of getting rained on a little bit in this makeshift booth. We've got a little bit of protection from an umbrella now.
Hold that.
Andrew Moroney's getting his creative mind happening, trying to keep us a little bit drier. As we see a hand from Paradigm, the disc raised above. There's a hand from Sublime, and we're underway for the second half. Disc comes up. It's a good pull. It's going to land in and roll. Kylo to pick it up. Moves it upfield to Annie Jessup. Annie Jessup. Paradigm coming out in a zone. Kylo moving around that very nicely, moving the disc upfield. They're on this sideline. Will they heed the commentators' instructions to get it off this sideline? He's just sent it up the...
High.
And it's just juggled straight out of their hands. He hit the Sublime player right on the chest.
Throw error.
And I think the Sublime player was just surprised. Kylo hit me with a really easy throw.
Just going with fair blade.
Was coming in with a fair blade, but
That's it. Good.
Paradigm shifting it to that high side, listening to Andrew Moroney's suggestions. Goes back to...
They're not suggestions anymore.
Still moved on that high side. Great pick up there from Foster. Back to Cowan. Back to Foster. There's a pretty big double team going on, but... Oh, Foster goes down. Is she...
Dead leg, I think.
Dead leg. She's caught. I think she might be calling an injury sub.
Yes, she is.
But it looks like she's putting a little bit of pressure on the leg, so it doesn't look too serious, which is good. Dead leg. Dead leg. Foster had a rather nasty knock in their first game up against Pie Wagon. And it's great to see her back out there playing.
On your Fozzie. You're tough. You is well hard.
Looks like Gannon to replace Foster. Disc is checked in. Cowan looking to get it to that high side. Hits the middle of the field. Gannon. It's a big double team, back to Falls. Falls to swing. That's a lovely swing. Some faking going on. Sublime sort of changing the force up a little bit here. Cowan in the middle of the field.
Well, they're not used to it, so they didn't think they had to change the force because they were being so successful at moving it low side. Now it keeps popping out there. They don't know whether to try and change the force to sideline or bring him right the back way over to the home side.
Absolutely right. Oh, thought there was going to be a call, but nothing.
They both. Sublime said, yeah, foul, and Rodney's going, no, it wasn't.
A little bit of confusion. O moves the disc nicely. It's Ryan. Ryan puts it. Oh, a couple of attempts at a grab there, and it's just hit the deck. Paradigm wanting to move it quickly and looking to that high side straight away. Now they've moved it to that sideline. Hope puts it out in a space for Falls, moving it onto the far side, just through the fingers. Anything above the head is a very tough catch at the moment. There's wind, there's moisture. They're definitely playing with some good structure now. O looking up and hits it with a little bit of a high release there. 9-6. Jackson quite excited about that one.
That one, didn't he?
Ran on quite fast. And that's an upwind one as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's big.
it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt Paradigm. Perhaps they...
How you going, Deckers? Yeah, been better.
Been better.
Sorry, Brenda.
Do you think perhaps, Andrew, that they should have just punted it for yardage then, rather than really overusing it up that far end, right in their end zone where they actually turned it over?
I'll be interested to see what Chuck said to him at halftime, because I went and had a quiet, or not so quiet, word to him about their strategy, and he was very much on the same page of going, yeah, we've got to do the hard things, we've got to swing it out wide. It would be hard for him to say that and then in the next breath go and yank it. But from a percentage play perspective, especially with this wind, like it's starting to get really gusty. Yeah, you wouldn't want it up that end.
Yeah.
So, but hindsight's a beautiful thing, Brenda.
Hindsight is a wonderful thing. A wonderful thing. Everything is easy in the past.
Oh, everything's easy in the commentary tent. It's not. Oh, it's not. But like, it's a lot easier here than it is out there.
There's a hand from both sides. Hard to pull.
Yeah,
It's going to land in nicely and roll out the near side.
Oh,
Hope touches.
Touch it.
It's still in field though.
Good. Well done, Joe.
Who doesn't love a good touched it call? Back to Hope. Sublime have gone back to this containing zone.
Yeah.
They were
It's just a blessing in disguise. Well, it's just a blessing for Paradigm because that'll help them get in that habit of going high side.
Exactly right. Sublime had the pressure on that whole time, and now they've sort of released the valve a little bit.
Yeah, spot on.
And Hope's just jacked that. Jazzjet's sitting underneath it. It's probably going to fall short, which it does. And that's the second sort of throw that's just bobbled out of people's hands. You really got to attack those ones and get the body behind it.
This is a big point.
Ha just looking deep. Still looking deep. There's no mark on. Ash Evans is creeping a little bit closer, trying to take away the break throws. Ha puts a really nice floaty outside in.
Oh no! You just had a bath!
Kanzeri just absorbed most of the water on the field.
Yeah, he's dried the field out now. More effective than the Lecco plane.
Oh, shut! What a
Throw
throw.
of the day. Throw of the day. Call it.
Absolutely. Puts it around the Paradigm player. Hits Jackson right on the chest.
Throw of the day.
That was pretty.
Did you guys get that little dive? Yeah. That was very good. I don't know who is that. Is that a Brendan? Is it?
Brendan Kanzeri. He probably had a couple of judges sitting on the sideline there holding up some scores.
Yeah.
We're just trying to say this again because that was a graceful swan dive there.
Here we go.
Oh,
Bang. What do you call it? A cannonball.
cannonball. Cannonball.
Easy.
All right.
You showed him.
Yeah, that's it. Doing what your captain tells you.
Yeah. Yeah, you made him look like an idiot.
Kanzeri from Perth probably hasn't seen rain like this before, so I was a little bit excited about water.
What's the time? How long?
80 minutes. 20 minutes to go. Looks like it might be half on the other field with Newcastle streaming across our field, trying to get some cover. And Chile just informing us that Newcastle Pie Wagon have actually just taken the game out, 15-3 up against F Troop. So that means that F Troop is 0-3 for the day.
And with that, probably have worst points difference of anyone.
Yeah, I don't think you could probably pull a Sydney Swans starting 0-6 and come back.
No.
I don't think there's more than 6 games.
That's more than, like 0-18.
Yeah, 0-18.
At which point you play for draft position.
That's it.
Good, Roman.
He's moved it to the high field, sorry. Hope looking downfield. There's still this zone. Ash Evans pops through.
Well, this is the more aggressive of the two.
That's it. He's looking to get a little lefty on. He's waiting for a pop crash to come through. Tries to get the give go. Falls has got it and hits a really nice flick break. Hope tries to gain some yardage up to Gannon, but just a little low. Gets pushed into the ground. O to pick it up on the far sideline.
Wind is really becoming more of a factor than the rain now.
Absolutely.
Getting sideways. This is a misery. For anyone where it doesn't translate, this is miserable. The conditions are miserable.
Oh, airs one out. That's good. He's got it.
Oh, wow.
He has pulled that down. That was an amazing throw.
Is that 10-6 or 11-6?
10-6 Sublime. Looked like the receiver nearly gave up on that one as
Yeah,
well.
he did. Yeah.
He's like, no, it's Kyle O throw. It's probably not going to get to me.
Are you sure?
But
Sure
Kyle,
it's only 10-6?
well weighted from Kyle, and Sublime go up 10-6. It is starting to really team down, and that wind is whipping it in straight into our face. There is no point in having a marquee right now.
Yeah, correct. It's sideways. Yeah.
So much so that an F Troop player has picked up the scoreboard, packed up his gear, and he's said, I am going home.
Good
You
on
people
him.
are idiots.
One less for you to do.
That's what, absolutely. I'm very thankful. I should probably give that
the
guy a
other guy.
handshake.
Yeah. Oh. Jared Cowan from Paradigm is giving his mob an absolute serve.
There's more spray there than there is
Yeah,
from the
right.
sky at the moment.
He's giving them both barrels, just opening up, and now Chuck Fun Lee, who's coaching them this weekend, is giving, I guess, a more restrained version.
Chuck, some very strong coaching experience. Coached teams through to Div 1 Nationals, as well as some representative teams along the way. Either that or I'm giving him more props than he might deserve. Either way.
He might have done like a teams or something.
That's it.
And he's a good bloke.
He's a good bloke.
Great guy.
And
Real
you'd always like to have him around.
100%. Enjoys a beer as well.
Enjoys a goon sack.
Yes.
Yes.
Responsibly.
Responsibly,
obviously.
of course. And he's doing great things with Paradigm as well. Really dialing them in and helping them out with their strategy.
I wouldn't mind seeing a bit more of a strategy from Paradigm around using what I think outside of I don't know the Sublime females as well, but the Paradigm girls are quite quick. A couple of them have very nice throws. It's been 10-6. Outside of, sorry, we're just trying to do a score here. Why are you looking at us? See, I thought it was 6-11.
10-6.
Yep, having a good time. Wouldn't mind seeing, like they've been playing 4-3 the whole time. Like,
Yes.
do we mix it up to 3-4?
Yeah.
Do they try and change something? Because right now Sublime are getting it all their own way.
They're very much
No,
relying
it is
on...
11-6. It is 11-6, guys.
What? Sorry, we're just confirming it is 11-6. The pool's gone up. That's blading in. That's landed in.
I reckon that's out.
I'm calling that in.
I'm calling it out.
There's a cone right there. There's Paradigm players on the sideline calling that in.
Okay.
But there's someone down the other end of the field. Let's ask them. Yeah, in.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. And it looks like they are taking it from the front of the end zone.
Yep.
No. I take that back.
Yeah, that's good. I reckon it was out.
And the
it's
marquee's
gotta go.
lifting. Let's hold that back down.
Oh, jeez.
Mihach bringing it in on the brick line. Swings it to Falls and to Declan. Frey moves it back. That's lovely play, Frey. And they move it to Camden Dunn. Swings it back to Falls. Just moving it laterally at the moment. Which is all right. They don't want to move it too much further to this sideline. Frey creeps a little bit closer. Calls a contact. He's really stepping through. Goes to Falls, still on the sideline. They're going to try and move it back, you would hope. He's got to try and get it around a big mark here.
Yes, good.
Gets it through to Frey, which opens up the field a little bit more. Falls back to Mihach. Tries to get it around it.
Biblical. It's getting biblical. Swing.
Oh.
Well done, Roman.
That's a very...
Roman, that's the right thing.
There's a-
Dagger.
There was a turn there. Ha looking upfield now for Sublime. Hits Jackson. Jackson waiting for a mark to come to him. Ha's well open.
Yeah. Didn't want anything
Jackson
to do
finally hits it. Shani, good pick up for the goal.
12-6.
Let's go. 12-6. It is
Ordinary.
ordinary at
Ordinary.
best. Oh dear. Yeah. The Vanguard Frisbee game is still going, so we can probably assume that scores might be reasonably close there. Just do a quick time check.
88 minutes in. 12 to go.
We have 12 more long minutes. It is raining sideways.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The marquee wants to blow away, and so do I.
If anyone wants to ever holiday in Melbourne in summer, rethink that.
Come on.
Our camera crew really looking after the commentators here. The pool's gone up. Ash Evans picks it up, moves it to Gannon. Gannon back to Falls. They're still in the middle of the field. He looks to the low side, to the tough side, and he hits it.
It's okay.
It's all right if they can get it back across. Rach looks straight back to Hope.
Humdinger, that one.
That's good. Gives him a little bit of ground. Hits Falls with a great grab. He's looked long. And you know what? This is something that Paradigm haven't really hit. They haven't hit a long shot.
No, it's not. If you sit Ash down in the end zone.
That's it. That's it. Hope really finds a great gap there. Hits Falls. Falls further up to Gannon. Gannon back to Hope.
They need it.
Hits Falls. He must be right out on that sideline. Moves it back to Hope. There's not a lot of movement upfield. And he
That's
just
a good break.
smashes the cup with a lovely shot straight through to Anna. Anna goes back to Hope. Moves it to Ash Evans.
Keep it this way. Keep it this way.
Ash with the dishes to Gannon. There's a bit of confusion if they're in.
There they go.
Looks like they're in. There's a goal to Paradigm. 12-7.
Oh, come on. And Sublime like a, is it a gaggle of ducks? Or a gaggle of geese?
Gaggle of geese.
That's actually, yeah, gaggle of geese walking back to the line trying to keep warm. Still wouldn't mind seeing Paradigm play 4 women, but
Yeah, there hasn't really been much gender ratio change up through the whole game from either side.
no. And you know, when you're Paradigm, you do have a strength in the speed and I guess aggressiveness of their women in terms of what they're willing to throw and go after. At least try that on against Sublime. Like, see, okay, do we have a few mismatches? Are they as deep from a female perspective as they are from a male perspective? You know, we know they're Jeremy Haas, Jackson's, Hughes.
Yep.
We've got Annie Jessup, who's been around, but you know, I wouldn't mind seeing them change something up to try and change the flow of the game.
Absolutely. Ha with his hand up, ready to go for Sublime. The pull comes up from Hope. It's a big outside in. It falls a little bit short. It's going to roll to the sideline. So great field position for Paradigm here. Can Sublime move it off that field and create some opportunity for themselves? Jackson's getting a little bit stuck. He's trying to move the mark. He's getting really stuck. This might just go. He's gone for the hammer. He's going to helix over. Jazz there's a little bit of contact there. Hard to see from this perspective.
No, nothing malicious. He was past. Oh, that shouldn't be a call. Retracted.
Is it retracted? They're still discussing it. Still discussing it.
Jazz needs to make every effort to avoid contact. Which I think he largely did.
And it's been retracted.
Yeah. There was a little bit of contact, which
bit of incidental
he has
contact
to work to avoid, but it was well after the D.
Yeah.
It was as much those two players bumping into each other.
Yes.
But right outcome
Because of a very bad throw.
Yes. Let's actually focus on Jackson's pie.
Yeah. Cowan with a disc on the far
here.
side.
They can get back in. Stop.
Jazz looking, hits Mihatch. Moves it to Hope. Oh, he really wanted that big backhand. Sold it well. Hits Jazz did in the middle of the field. Back to Hope. Swings it to the sideline to Mihatch. Wind's really kicking up for them out here. God, these cross-field shots are going to be tough. Hope trying to move. Oh, and it's just a cold drop. It's just a cold drop, unfortunately, there from Hope. Jackson's stuck with it. He's probably just going to... He hits Ha. Ha goes for a cross-field pass into the wind. It's just a low percentage shot there, I think. We're sort of struggling to see here.
It's a joke. I've had it.
Hope with the disc. Swings it out to the far side. Jazz, good read. Gets the body behind it. Lost a few yards. Goes to Cowan. Floats. Cowan keeps it in. Looking upfield. Dishes back to Jazz. Still out on that far sideline. Looks off an open position from Foz. Mihatch. Moving the cup around. Hits Hope. Hope looks upfield. Splits the cup open to Foster. Foster throws it back, but it just drifts away over the head of Singh there. Jackson picking it. Hart going deep. There's a point. Is he just going to sit on it, hold it, moves it to Shani out on the right side. Moves it further. Tough to... Travel was called.
Yeah. It's going to be over. So they're not playing a wing. Look at their wing. Look at Paradigm's wing playing right up.
Yeah.
Jackson's
gone for it. It's going to fall short. He's got it. That's a great grab.
No, that's the shot that they needed to take. He's hurt himself. Cramped.
Is it cramp? If it's cramp, I'm not needed. It's just he hasn't had enough pickle juice apparently. That was a good look. The Paradigm wing was pushed right in, opened it up.
Yeah, and they were baiting it like that.
They were baiting it.
And that's the shot they need to take. But not Jackson. Like Jackson is probably one of the more, outside of Brucey, probably the most experienced thrower.
Yeah.
You do just have to step back as a wing, recognise and go. And the Pickles are coming out on field.
Yes.
Good news, the Pickles are making their way out on the field.
And that's 13-7.
We treat the safety of the players as paramount.
4 minutes left on the clock. I think probably both teams would be pretty happy to hear that.
Bloody, so are we.
Kyle asking for sideline help, but I don't think anyone wants to get out from underneath the shelter. They're saying we'll do our best from here, Kyle. You just look out after yourself out there. The Seagulls have arrived as well. They're loving it.
Jacko's lost the plot. Wacko Jacko.
There's a hand from Cowan. Sublime picking the disc up. Looks like O's going to be pulling.
Jackson just kind of shades of that final scene of the Truman Show, you know, when it's belting down and Truman just loses it. He's like, what more can it do? Is this all you've got?
That's it.
That's it.
He's in his element.
Lost the plot. Good throw.
Great break from Hatch. To Gannon. Gannon, good attack on the disc there. Really got in front of her player. Swings it back to Falls in the middle of the field. Falls swings it to Mihatch. Looking for that give go. She's got a really nice step around and breaks it with that left-handed flick. There's confusion.
If Hope's looking up at someone else.
Yeah, if you've got to ask straight away, it's probably down. But I think it's called up. I think it's been called up.
He's not sure. And
he's not sure.
Just us. Yep, so they're going to keep it.
Hits Falls. Falls looking upfield. Moves it up about 10 metres to Mihatch. Still on this sideline. They're trying to the call of trap it from the sideline.
Yeah, but moving Rachel to this wing, like as you said, she's got the best kind of step around throw. Nice work,
Cowan.
Jared Cowan
Shows that he can jump.
Yeah, she's throwing that around flick to get them back to the sideline. To the middle of the field. It's working really well.
Moskovic gets a big gainer from Falls on the sideline. Hits Gannon in the middle of the field. They've moved it up. They're now probably about 15 metres.
Swing it! Good, Roman!
There's a move of the disc back to the centre of the field. Hope for a big around backhand.
That's the kind of one Brucey just licks his lips at. It was a bit high over his head.
That's it. O brings it up. Centres it. Looks like Paradigm's got a 5-person. I think the wing's playing really aggressive here. Yeah. Really aggressive. If Sublime just pops someone behind, which they have done, and it's just bobbled. It's just bobbled a little bit. Paradigm pick it up quickly. Mihatch hits Hope. Hope, backhand swing. He puts a bit of air into that though.
Yeah, well done, Roman.
Falls, great read. He's got the hammer. He's set it up. Kanzeri, great defense there. He read that really well. Floated a little bit too much.
Well, he just got his body in front of it. Made Joel not want to have anything to do with it.
Stretching the hammy out a little bit. It might be a bit tight. Is he all right? Yeah, he says I'll jog it off. They're trapped on this sideline now. He's just jacked it. He's just sent it. Oh, Ryan gets...
Great read by Ryan.
Great read. Puts his body right in that position.
Good, Rodney.
Sort of stepping around, trying to get something open. Hits O now. O's put a big flick into the wind. Tough one to read it. He's got it. And he's in.
That's a goal.
It's a goal. Goal to the Sublime.
Is that time cap yet?
Yeah. 14-7. Probably going to hear the siren go. Siren gone.
I'll go over and do that again.
Yeah. And it will be a game to 15, as usual, as per the usual. It'll be a big ask for Paradigm to come back from this position. Can never write anyone off, but they'll have to work pretty darn hard. The end of the game could probably not come soon enough with these conditions. The Marquis trying to lift off again. Jesse Delahaye cleaning up the scraps of our...
Oh, did this go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The umbrella went for a little bit of a walk.
Jesus. Mrs. Brooks, she would have killed me. Yes. If the missus is watching, I still have the umbrella. Don't lose it. All right.
There's a hand from
last
Paradigm.
point. Yeah.
Wow. Could be the last point.
Yeah, sorry. game point.
Game point. And
Rowan wanted.
I don't think that's gone out the back though.
It hasn't. No, it's stopped dead.
From there.
It's stopped dead.
He just couldn't catch it. He's put a low pass.
Great throw.
Great throw to Gannon. Gannon takes a little bit of a hit and says, try your best. I've got better. Falls a little bit stuck. Really stuck in this. He puts a flick up.
Yeah,
Hope
right.
just toes that in. Really tough spot now.
Great throw.
Oh,
Might see a call
good
here.
D there from Sublime.
Yeah. Oh, good.
And it's
For the
clean.
game.
Jackson runs it back to the outside of the line. Joel looking at his feet. Dump back.
Nothing doing in the stack. Nobody's moving.
No one
Everyone's
wants to
just
move.
pointing.
No one wants to score.
Wow.
Joel really double teaming. There was a push pass there, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, open shot. Just a tough catch in these conditions.
Yep.
Slips through the
Everything's
mix.
hard. Everything's hard. Living's hard right now.
Living's hard right now.
Packing up's going to be hard too.
Hope looking downfield. Puts a big backhand around and just doesn't quite get on it.
Should have bid, Rodney.
Might have needed a... Oh yeah, a bit.
Oh, they've set up a junk now.
Oh,
He could have
back in
come in
the
down. Yeah.
back in the puddle for Kenziri. He likes this spot. What's he going to do?
Here we go. That's that big flick.
That's
over
that
the top.
big flick. He's
See,
looking
watch
at it.
That wing.
He dumps it. He just gets that, resets that stall count.
Here we go. If Jack. Oh.
Oh,
Good
Moscovich saw what was coming, put a hand in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stretching the field.
Oh!
Oh no.
That was it.
Oh no.
That was
Jared.
just a throw.
Jared. What have you done? Oh, Rodney. That's pass. Bid.
Oh, there's a good bid. Kenziri just put that a little bit too far out. Maroney still caught up on that throw by Cowan into the legs of the Sublime player as they just ran
didn't
past.
have any idea.
It wasn't actually playing defense, just Rodney decided to throw it into it.
Another giveaway.
The disc's just slipping through everyone's hands at the moment. Ha looking for something that's open.
Cue the Benny Hill music, I reckon. Not against the players, exactly. They're cooked. They've played 3 games today and it's been miserable conditions.
That's it.
And that's
There
going to
it
finish the
is.
game.
There's the game.
Sublime get their first win.
And Paradigm go 1 and 2 for
They
the
both sit on
day.
1 and 2.
Both do.
So that's made it really interesting. It's put a bit of a glut. So F Troop 0 and 3.
Yep.
These two both 1 and 2.
Yep.
Pie Wagon 2 and 1.
Yes.
And then we don't know the final Vanguard score. It'll either be Vanguard 2 and 1 or 3 and zip.
We'll just find out the score
Frisky.
now.
Okay, and Vanguard are coming towards us now. Hey guys, Vanguard, did you win? So 15-11 Frisky v Vanguard. So 15-12. So from the top to bottom, Frisky undefeated 3-0, followed by both Vanguard and Pie Wagon 2-1. Then Paradigm and Sublime 1-2, and F Troop Donuts.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's going to be a big day tomorrow.
Huge day.
Huge day.
Yeah.
Huge day. There's obviously nothing clear cut. Frisky in a good position.
Frisky.
Yeah,
If any team's going to have some beers tonight, it'll
probably be Frisky.
Sublime. I mean Frisky. Yeah. All right, we'll be back tomorrow. Thank you guys.
ULTI.TV.